Welcome everyone to Let's Play Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn. This is episode 49, and previously we had just completed the airship arc. We are in Gridania, and we have rescued Cid's airship from the Stone Vigil. And if you haven't seen the dungeon, the Stone Vigil, that would be the previous episode that was released on a Thursday. Last week we had a two for the week. An episode on Tuesday and one on Thursday. But this is directly after, so we need to see what repairs are needed for the Enterprise, but also what preparations we need to make so that we can get through the barrier and take on our next target, which is which is Garuda. But without further ado, let us continue where we left off. And we were in the... So, we were in that area here. So there's an area, there is a person we can tend to get back into the other side. So if you left, because as you can see, there is Cid, there's our next mission, but it's in this receiving area that normally we are not allowed into. So we haven't started the next episode, so the usual person that will let us through is not here. So if you're curious, okay, how the heck do I get into the area so I can get to Cid? Well, talk to the airship ticketer here, and he'll give you the usual options. You know, ship to the two city states and the gold saucer, or this next option, which is the into the eye of the storm. That's the next quest you need to do. So choose this option. Greetings, madame. Do you wish to proceed to your vessel? Proceed to the landing area. Yes. And so now we are on the other side of the... We are on the other side of the area of the thing here. And if you wanted to cross back, we can probably speak to the arrivals attendant. But let's start the next mission here, because we get to see this area very few times. Into the eye of the storm. It calms me to look at her. It's as though I've been reunited with a part of me I never knew was missing. Alphnaud. Highly surprising you did design and build her. I bear good news. The Seed Seers have granted our request to house the Enterprise. We may take as long as we require to repair her. Of course, it would be rank folly to take one moment more than we require. Garuda, lest we forget, grows stronger by the hour. If we are to have any hope of wresting this benighted realm from her talons, it must needs be soon. Though I am no expert on the workings of airships, it seems plain to me that the Enterprise suffered much from her time in the wilderness. Am I not correct, Cid? You are. Frankly, it's a miracle she carried us this far. As you know, the Howling Eye is encircled by a raging tempest, apt to turn proud trees to matchwood. Our battle will end before it begins if the Enterprise cannot weather the storm. Given time, I believe I can fully repair her. But if this tempest is as fearsome as you say, even that may not be enough. Confound it. There must be a way to brave the fury of the elements. The elements? But of course, that's it. We work upon the element itself. Using the power of a corrupted crystal, we could clear a path through the storm and spare the Enterprise a battering. I see. You propose to utilize the properties of a crystal to alter the elemental aspect of the barrier. It seems so childishly simple in retrospect. Though mayhap not to you, Lightbringer. We speak of the manifestations of over-aspected ether that can be found throughout Eorzea. Since the calamity disrupted the land's etheric currents, such crystals have become comparatively commonplace, which has been a cause of great woe, as they are known to warp etheric energies, including those of living organisms. The point is, we could theoretically use a corrupted crystal to convert the wind-aspected ether comprising Garuda's barrier into ether of another aspect, one she cannot control. With certain modifications, the Enterprise should be able to deliver us to the Howling Eye in comfort, however hard Garuda blows. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. All, all of this rests upon our ability to procure a crystal with the necessary properties. Have you any idea where we might acquire one? No, but I know a man who might. A scholar by the name of Lambertant, who resides in Camp Drybone. Strange as it may sound, I met him during my time at the church. Well, Marquise met him, I suppose, whether out of pity or for want of a more willing listener. He would talk to me for hours at a time about his etheric studies, corrupted crystals being his pet subject. It was as a result of these conversations that poor Marquise was observed to possess an uncommon knack for theoretical science. Lightbringer, I need you to return to Thanalan and seek out this scholar. Sid and I will set about repairing the Enterprise in your absence. Off to Camp Drybone we go. So we need to get to the other side, so speak to the arrivals attendant. She asks if he wants to leave the landing area. Say yes, and we are back in the regular map. Now, we could take a airship to Thanalan, but I don't think that's... Oh, somebody's practicing their holy spell. Yeah, they get that at level... I think they get that level 45 or 50, I believe. Conjurers / white mages. So, we go into the inn at Camp Drybone. We see our person right in the first room. Why, yes, I am Professor Lambertant. Beg pardon? You wish to hear about my research on corrupted crystals? Truly? Well, nothing would give me greater pleasure than to discuss my work with a fellow woman of science. Let's see. No, certainly give me... What do you call it? Let's do this for... Sealed with science. Ah, so rare it is to find fellow intellectuals in this region. It's even rarer to find one capable of comprehending the nature of corrupted crystals. Come to think of it, there was another, a hermit to whom the church had given sanctuary. Curious fellow, unsociable, rather taft at first impression, yet possessed an amazing affinity towards scientific pursuits. But to the matter at hand, you did say you wished to not conduct field observations, but to harvest a corrupted crystal. Egads, woman, at least take the necessary precautions so that you do not suffer from exposure to its harmful energies. I'm beginning to wonder if you've sufficient qualifications to handle such hazardous materials. Still, your ignorance is somehow endearing. Luckily for you, I have precisely the means by which these inherent dangers may be averted. Simply store the crystal you seek within this warded pot to protect yourself from its deleterious effects. Though I suppose you will be bombarded with its energies until you place it into the vessel. Well, perhaps it shall motivate you to work quickly. In any case, take the pot to Hasakano, a student of mine monitoring the flow of ether at Highbridge. Explain to him your quest, and he will instruct you in the finer points of crystal harvesting. So, we are off to Highbridge. And we want to go up the far entryway that's through this arch here. Because that'll put us back on the road towards Highbridge. Okay, if you're wondering where in Eorzea the NPC we need to speak to is, this is the landing area. So instead of going out onto the walkway here, go to the right and head to the stairwell and go down the stairs. And he's hiding in the lower level, which almost nobody has a reason to go down except for quests like these. How many times must I be made to explain myself? I am not contemplating suicide. I have chosen this precise position to perform scientific measurements. And that's not why we're here. What have we here? A containment vessel? Why, this is the handiwork of Professor Lambert. You thieving knave, I shall call for the... Oh. You say the man himself lent it to you. Then you must have sought me out per his instruction, which means he believes me experienced enough to expound upon his explanations. At last, recognition I so rightfully deserve. Okay. None of these... with the utmost care. Oh, frabjous day, Kelly, that I should be chosen to guide this woman. Yes, I, Hasakano, greatest of Professor Lamberton's pupils, shall see that you successfully quarry your quarry. Your timing is impeccable. In fact, for I was just preparing to procure corrupted crystals from the burning wall from my personal research. There, the devastating destruction caused by the calamity has blessed us with a bounty of sublime specimens. But something tells me that naught but a perfect peace will satisfy your high standards, in which case you must needs descend to the deepest depths amidst the flowing waters. and the murderous Mirror Knights lie the most fantastic formation I have found thus far. Take this highly advanced researcher's tool and use it to separate a small fragment from the larger cluster. Place it within the warded pot and bear it back to me for inspection. The path which leads from Burgundy Falls to the base of the burning wall is treacherous and terrifying, but advance with appropriate caution and you shall surely survive. So the area we were to go to is an offshoot area. And right now I'm just following the... So that's there. Because you want to go into here. Okay, so you do not want to be down here in the water. You want to be up on the... following the river here. And here is the entrance to the area that he spoke of. And we're going to want our companion out for his healing power. Put him in here, your healer stance. And we did level up our Lancer to level 41. So our Chocobo did get some experience, but he's not to level 7 yet. Looks like a fate just ended. Okay, so we need to go down to the lowest level. But this is the burning wall, and these orange pieces, I believe, are remnants from the calamity. Maybe part of Delamud, or that moon that shattered. If you've seen the cutscene. But yeah, if you're not level 40 or higher, I wouldn't come back here because all the whatchalls around here are level 40 or maybe a bit higher. No, you don't want to go that way. So, if you remember, the white symbol here, that kind of looks like a hourglass. These guys are passive. They're not going to attack you unless you attack them first. This red triangle here, they are aggressive. They will attack you if they see you. But you can usually pass behind them without incident unless they turn around. We're gonna have to go right by this guy, so. See, we had to go right past him into his field of view, so best to take him out right then and there. Alright. Down we go. We got another Mirror Knight to contend with. Maybe we can go behind him. No matter. Oh, nope. We went far enough to the side here. Yep, keep going down, keep going down. This is where we want to go. Yeah, so when you're going down, don't go along. You want to go straight when you get to this intersection here. You don't want to go to this area because this icon is at the very lowest level where we are right now. So now we can actually walk up to it. But we're going to have to fight at least one Mirror Knight to get to it. Okay, and here is our cluster. So target the corrupted crystal. So now we have it. Yeah, so those Mirror Knights are aggressive, so not the safest to be around them, but let us head back to where we came from and report back to Hakasako, or how you say his name. I see you come galloping back. Have you crystal then? What a prodigiously large and lovely crystal! Professor Lamberton will doubtless chortle with joy when you present it to him in person. Oh, and upon your return, do remember to recount how I helped you with your harvesting. Back to the good professor in Camp Drybone. Okay, back to Lamberton. My keen scholar sense tells me you've obtained a corrupted crystal, am I right? If you would grant me a moment to examine the crystal. Ah, it is as you desired. A corrupted crystal overflowing with wind-aspected ether. Remind me for what purpose you intend to use this crystal. Again. What? To breach a barrier comprised of wind-aspected ether? Oh dear. That may prove problematic, as this crystal would only serve to strengthen the barrier. I suppose I am at fault for not inquiring as to your objectives from the start. Had I known your intent, I would have never sent you to Hasakaso. But what is science if not trial and error? And you can truly say that this failure has taught you nothing? Think, woman. You now understand the methods necessary to safely collect a corrupted crystal. You will doubtless have no difficulty in doing so once more. What's more, the crystal you collected can serve as an invaluable resource for the etherical studies conducted by the students of Baldessian. You've heard of them? Well, I don't mean to boast, but I have a professional relationship with the organization. Not as equals, of course. I would never be so bold as to claim that level of expertise. Are you all right? Your eyes seem to be glazed over for a moment. Anyway, I shall keep you from your task. You still seek a corrupted crystal to find. But we need one for... So the reason I'm not taking warrior aspected stuff is I'm looking to improve the equipment of the Lancer. And they don't necessarily always use the same equipment as our warrior. Because a warrior has their... Warrior and gladiators have their own special line of gear. I think we have time for one more. A promising prospect. Corrupted crystals of sufficient size and strength are not all that common, I fear. Fortunately, one of my other students, Senna, claims to have discovered another promising site in eastern Lenosha. Wait, that's not correct. Eastern Lenosha was where she was nearly killed when wandering too close to an imperial castrum. Now that makes me for an amusing antidote. It was Western Lenosha, Pharaoh Cirrus on the Isles of Umbra to be precise. I can't recall her exact reasoning. Something to do with one of Delamud's talons or some such nonsense. What I can say for certain is that she is still in Ailport, attempting to gain access to the Isles. Why not travel there and see if Senna's inquiries bear fruit? If you can, look past the crass and violent ways of the local pirates. You might find your time there to be quite pleasurable. Oh, and do not forget to take your makeshift warded pot, lest she think you some unprepared for the task. Alright, so we need to go to Ailport. So the easiest way to get there would be to go to Limsa Lomensa. And there's two ways to do that. We can either go we can go through Central Thanalan back to Uldal and take the airship, or we can go through Central to Western to... Actually... We have a quicker way to do this. We still have 66 Vesper Bay tickets. Let's use one. Because the ferry is going to be cheaper than the airship. Here we are. So it's good to keep those Vesper Bay tickets and not use them all the time. 80 gil instead of like 150. And here we are. We can simply use the Aetheryte network to go to from the Arcanist Guild to the Fisherman's Guild. And from there, we can go to the Ferry Skipper and take for 40 gil, go to Ailport. And so our person we will talk to is not in that room, but she's at the top of a stairway or on a rooftop. Yeah, right here. So we will talk to her. We'll talk to our red-headed friend in the next episode. So that's going to cut it for today's episode. We did get a corrupted crystal, but unfortunately it was the wrong element. So Sina, who is in the background here, she's our point of contact to get another crystal that hopefully this time will be the correct one. So join us next time when we continue with the Garuda arc, acquiring the correct crystals so we can weaken the barrier to make it through. So until then, thank you for watching, and take care. We'll see ya.